21 minutes after the hour, Americans, Hugh Hewitt. It's the Hour of the Entrepreneur, back after a hiatus, not because there aren't a long line of entrepreneurs, there are, but because I just simply have not had any time in Q1 to do this. And my friends at ERSOP, the Employee Retirement Stock Ownership Program, have been very gracious with me. They've said, we get it, lots of news, lots of stuff happening, but you have been pestering me, America, and so I found two that I thought would be very appropriate as we enter the summer season, where people think primarily about kids and graduation and what they're going to be doing. With me in studio is Ed Portillo. He is the president and founder of stateproductions.org. It's plural, right? Yes. Stateproductions.org. Creators of a series of television shows about summer camp for Christians. More on that in a moment. And from the East Coast, in Annapolis, Kevin Haney, Chief Financial Officer and one of the faculty of StudentLeaderSeminar.com. Both of these are listed over at HughHewitt.com. Usually I leave this for the end, but I'm going to ask you both because you both excel at this. You have tremendous website presence. And who came up with stateproductions.org website?
I have one of my team members. Her name is Naomi Casa. She is CasaCreative.com. She's the one that came up with the design, so she has a really great eye for design and putting everything together.
And how long did it take her to go from the moment you told her to get something going to the time that it launched?
Well, thankfully, we've been friends for a while, and so...
She's still talking to you?
Yeah, after all this. So it took her about maybe 3 or 4 months to put everything together, but a lot of it was her emailing me saying, I need content, I need more stuff, write some more stuff. So us collaborating together, we were able to get it done with about 3 or 4 months.
Boy, does that sound like... Michael Witham is the pain-in-the-neck web designer whom I love, who does all my stuff, but all he ever wants is more content.
Exactly.
That's all they ever want.
Yeah.
How about you, Kevin Haney? Who runs StudentLeaderSeminar.com on the website?
Luckily, one of our associates, our COO, Steve Robbins, built the website. He built an early version and then converted it to the one it is now, which is really very nice. And oddly enough, Steve is always bagging on us for more content. So, he keeps trying, and we keep trying, and the more we're hoping to actually be able to take this interview and get it up there as well at some point.
Now, okay, let's talk about marketing and sales. That's the second most important subject for people who listen. They always wonder about web design. How do you find customers, Kevin Haney? You're out there saying, hey, StudentLeaderSeminar.com can change the life of the students in your life and the other leaders who deal with students. But how do you get anyone to listen? How do you get anyone to buy?
That's a good question. Part of it's been word of mouth because of, if you go to our faculty page, the bench is fairly impressive. And a lot of it has just been marketing ourselves, word of mouth. We do have a Facebook page. We are tied into Twitter. And we're hoping, as we develop, for example, the Maryland job, we're also doing one for Travis Manion Foundation, and I think you're familiar with Travis Manion.
Yep.
We'll start working with them in a couple weeks, end of this month, to help them spread that message, because Ryan Manion, Travis's sister, can no longer do it by herself. So she came to us and asked us, she'd heard about us, found us on the web, and boom, there you go.
She found you on the web?
She found us on the web.
Now, that's interesting. I'm going to come to search engine optimization in just a moment. So that is marketing number one, word of mouth. But if you want to go after, say, you want to go to the top, the cream of the cream, the very best, you want to do something for The Ohio State University, how do you go about getting in their door?
Yeah, right now we haven't gotten there yet, Hugh. This year we're going to net about $100,000, which I know is not a lot, but that puts us on track for where we think we need to be. Right now we're just getting ready to hire an accountant because we're making money. I'm actually going to start paying Steve for doing this website because we haven't paid him yet. So, yeah, marketing is going to be a big part. You're a part of it right now.
Well, then, if anyone's listening at The Ohio State University, they ought to call Kevin Haney at StudentLeaderSeminar.com. How about you, Ed Portillo? Let's first talk about marketing generally and then getting in the door of people that could distribute your show. And remind people just joining us what your show is.
The show's called All Summer Long, and it centers around a sketch comedy team that goes to summer camps, and they perform, serve, and mentor campers. And part of getting content created is networking. So things like the Biola Media Conference was huge for us to meet different content distributors and different ways of funding projects. Another thing, there was the 168 Film Festival was another great place to network as well. They did a connection, a big one-day seminar on faith-based products and movies at the NAB show in Las Vegas. So there was a lot of what we needed to do was just shaking shaking hands, getting in the right in front of the right people to get funding. So we did connect to Parables TV, parablestv.com or parables.tv. It's the first faith-based content entertainment focused network. They showcase movies and series and reality shows, and right now they launched as a streaming service, but you can see all of their content streaming on the major religious networks that have blocks of Parables programming. So we partnered with a guy named Isaac Hernandez over there to distribute it, but they're also launching as well. So they're like I mentioned earlier about being in a new place with Christian faith-based content. They're also looking to launch in a larger scope and then produce their own original content as well, but they are going to distribute the content.
So you sit down with them, and do you ask them for money?
That's what we initially talked about. Yeah, that's what we initially talked about. We were talking about where they were at, and it was always where they launched right now. They've launched, like I said, on the streaming service, and so they are owned by a larger company that has launched other cable networks, but they're still finding a home as far as a terrestrial network.
So you sit down and you say, I've got this great show, I've made 4 demos, give me X thousands of dollars to do what?
Right. Well, you have to make a pitch packet. So the pitch packet has basically, it's the show Bible. How are you going to make the show? What is the budget? The profile of the team members, the profile of the whole show, the different equipment you're going to use, and then that's what you present as well as the content of the show. So you have to give them a packet that's going to show them, like a business plan that just basically says this is how we're going to do everything. And
who taught you how to do a pitch packet?
My team. Part of the people that came alongside me were the people that have already pitched shows before. So there's 2 twin brothers named Dan and Dave Holchek that came alongside this project, and we're kind of the guys who have done this before. So they helped provide, and Naomi as well, to create the pitch packet.
Is it any good, by the way?
I like it. I have it. I can give you a copy.
Okay. Now, Kevin Haney, how about you? How did you guys figure out how to roll this out? Did you have a business plan, or did you just start offering student leader seminar?
One of the interesting things is Joe, again, the CEO, Dr. Thomas, went up to Syracuse University, where Syracuse provides a sort of a small business boot camp for service-disabled, veteran-owned business entrepreneurs. And Joe went up to the course and learned a lot about it. We got the team together in Annapolis on a football weekend because we wanted to watch real student athletes play football, not some football factory in the middle of the country. And so we had the opportunity to sit down and talk, and we brainstormed, and the result was what you see now. And what we really liked about it is the geographical portion of it, because it helps us reduce our overhead. For example, if something was going to happen out in San Diego or somewhere on the West Coast, we would send our West Coast team to go do it to keep down the cost for the client. And that's how this thing generated. It was just like-minded individuals looking around the world and saying, there seems to be a real need for leadership, and we've been doing this all our lives, and we take it for granted, so maybe it's time for us to get out there and do something.
I'll be right back with Kevin Haney, CFO of StudentLeaderSeminar.com, and Ed Portillo of StateProductions.org. Don't go anywhere. It's the Hour of the Entrepreneur on the Hugh Hewitt Show. Portions of the Hugh Hewitt Show are brought to you by Hillsdale